Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Vilma Barbosa from Brazil, and today I am the interpreter of Beatriz and to the Second International Conference on Education and Business. Thank you, Dr. Tess Dimano, for inviting Beatriz to this conference. She's so happy to be part of this. Thank you so much. Scientific Research and Ethics. Professor Dr. Beatriz Lúcia Salvador Bisotto. She's from Unifacvest University Center, Brazil. Global Edu Leaders Forum, India. And this is her email, Beatriz Lúcia Bisotto at gmail.com. Scientific research is the basis of almost all human knowledge. It is because of scientific research that we have experienced a high degree of scientific and technological development. To carry out and develop scientific research requires planning, in which reliable sources of information must be identified and consulted, such as scientific articles, books, theses, etc. However, in some types of research, these sources alone may not be sufficient to achieve the desired results. Research involving humans and or animals using a variety of research methods is necessary. However, it is necessary to observe the effects in order to look for discoveries as these are not always beneficial to the well being of humans, other organisms, or even the environment. Therefore, in order to prevent negative effects, a commitment to ethics becomes the basis of scientific development. In addition, professional and scientific ethics prevent misconduct and encourage good coexistence between researchers. Science and ethics go hand in hand, continually advancing for the benefit of people and the planet. The main objective of ethics is to support the advancement of sharing of science. Research integrity involves the standards, principles, and ethics that govern academic and scientific research from the moment it is conceived until its results are widely published. Public knowledge, in other words, it means adopting a set of ethical principles to carry out the activities of researchers and conduct scientific research. Adoption of these ethical principles. It's important too. Adopting these ethical principles is important because it reveals how science goes beyond preventing fraud during development. The products produced must also perform and express themselves to society. Honesty, reliability, objectivity, impartiality, care, respect, truthfulness, responsibility. Scientific, scientific integrity is therefore achieved when practice is based on ethical principles and professional standards that the scientific community considers essential and legitimate for responsible scientific practice. Scientific production practice. Seek to know the appropriate conduct criteria. Have the scientific capacity to conduct the research. Analyze potential conflicts of interest. Record data collected objectively and reliably. Store collected data securely and, where possible, be accessible for consultation and validation by other interested researchers. Use data in accordance with the scientific methods appropriate to the research and do not manipulate or use without referring the original sources. Prevent failure and waste. Respect and care for research objects, human, animal, biological, and promote safety in its various forms. Minimize negative impacts of the project and manage resources efficiently. Respect the confidentiality of data and results when so required. Correct the name of the linked institution and research resources. Give credit to founders and sponsors, etc. Publish or make available research results honestly and accurately. Associate authorship with a significant contribution to the research work, avoiding including authors who did not participate in its development. Hold all authors responsible for the content of their publication. Cite texts or ideas by other authors that appear in the research, clearly and unequivocally, using international rules and conventions, standards. Institutions must guide and monitor research processes and impose penalties in case of misconduct. Develop a scientific culture with a view of encouraging the publication of research results, offering storage and dissemination of scientific research. Experienced researchers are responsible for guiding and accompanying younger researchers so that they acquire knowledge of the use and practice of good scientific conduct. As already mentioned, scientific research requires responsible behavior from everyone involved in the process. Researchers and institutions must value scientific ethics and research integrity. Therefore, researchers, educational and research institutions, funding agencies, editors, and reviewers of scientific publications must adopt good research practices, including compliance with current standards and legislation. Scientific misconduct. Scientific misconduct is behavior that violates the principles of the integrity of science, causing damage to scientific knowledge and the process and the progress of scientific. We have listed some practices that amount to scientific misconduct: fabrication of evidence in a research, manipulation of materials, equipment, or phases of research, modifying, altering, or omitting data in a way that results in an inaccurate result, plagiarism, conflicts of interest, breach of confidentiality, lack of consent in the use of materials, abuse of the use of other research, ghost authorship, simultaneous submission of the same article to different journals, covering up misconduct and proposing reprisals or whistleblowers. Research ethics. Institutions that carry out scientific research have committees and as well as giving the necessary attention to projects that promote environmental intervention. The Commission also ensures that damage is respected and prevented. These committees are committed to providing high quality research and discussing its role in the institutional and social development of the community, and to assessing and issuing opinions on relevant ethical, legal, scientific, and social issues. Types of plagiarism. Understanding the concept of plagiarism is important for constructing scientific work with ethical integrity. Plagiarism, therefore, is a form of misconduct on the part of the researcher who uses ideas or transcribes phrases without citing the original source. When using sources of information, researchers should inform the original authors and properly cite and refer to these sources, giving due credit to the original developers of the ideas cited. It's very important. Direct plagiarism, copying the original text without properly identifying the author in the citation and list of references. Straight plagiarism. This occurs when the person writing the work uses synonyms or words from the same semantic field to say the same thing as the source consulted without properly referring the text used. Plagiarism of sources. Very common. This type of plagiarism occurs when the researcher uses a quotation from a work consulted by another author and does not consult the original source. Consenting plagiarism. Consenting plagiarism takes the form of an agreement between those involved, which may include remuneration. It consists of presenting or signing someone else's intellectual work as one's own, with the authorization of the original author, and is called consent, but it is considered intellectual fraud. Self-plagiarism. This occurs when the author uses excerpts or parts of their previous publications without properly citing them, thus presenting nothing new to the scientific world. Self-plagiarism, however, does not infringe the copyright law, but it is unethical and constitutes scientific misconduct. Here we have some tools that can be used to identify plagiarism. So we have the ACNP software, plagiarism detection software, CopyLeaks, CopySpider, Double Checker, and so you can use these links to check them. Assignments, plagiarism, no plagio, combate agora o plágio, plugin, These are some sources that you can use to check if your work is reliable or not. Thank you so much for the invitation. Thank you. I'm so honored to be here. So here you have, I'm Dr. Beatriz Lucia Salvador Bisotto. This is my phone number in case you wanna contact me. And my interpreter email, so Vilma da Luz. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you. Have a good conference around there.